we knew that, and this is important. You know, it's not the end-all, be-all, but it is important. And so to be able to get a division win, it's also a conference win. That's also 2 wins in a row. It's on the road. Puts us 3-1 at the quarter. I'm really happy with where we're at. I'm proud of the guys, the staff, everybody. I mean, that was outstanding.
We have that confidence. Like I said, send us anywhere, line us up against anyone, and we feel like we can go in there and beat them. And that's a good feeling to have. Does it always going to happen? I don't know, but we feel like we can, and we have that confidence in ourselves and our coaches and each other, and we're working together pretty well right
now. The swagger, the confidence. This is a new Detroit Lions, Terrika. This is a new Detroit Lions, Terrika Foster-Brasby. Welcome to Ladies First Fridays on Brother from Another. Let's get into it, sis.
Girl, I don't know who these Lions are. I've never born and raised in Detroit. I'm close to 40. I ain't never seen these Lions before, so I am ecstatic for them.
Yeah. And can you tell our wonderful viewership, even though that you are from Detroit, born and raised, you are not a Detroit Lions fan. You are an Indianapolis Colts fan.
I sure am. So although I grew up in Detroit, as you mentioned, and I learned football from my dad, like I guess most people who like football kind of learn from their dad. But my dad was a huge Colts fan. He was a Johnny Unitas fan. And so at the time, the Colts were in Baltimore, but when I was born, they moved to Indianapolis. The year I was born is the year they moved to Indianapolis. So I grew up an Indianapolis Colts fan, but my dad always taught me, show respect to the home team. So Barry Sanders and Rodney Peete, Herman Moore, all those guys were in Detroit at the time when I was growing up. And as a matter of fact, the last time we've seen a Detroit Lions team look this good was probably the 1991 team that went to the NFC title game and lost. And so it's exciting for the city right now. It's exciting. Lions fans are happy about what they're seeing because it's not just like these Lions look good. It's not as simple as, these Lions are winning games and starting the season 3-1, which is something they haven't done since 2017, but they are believable. Like the confidence, the way that they play, the way that they've dominated the Packers the last 3 seasons. They're 6-0 against them right now. I think it's giving the city a lot to be excited for. Like they are believably good and can believably win a playoff game and can believably be a contender. I think that's what's really exciting and really special right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they put the beat down last night in the first half. I was like, what? What is going on? Okay. Did you forget that you were at home? Like, what is going on? I mean, let them come into Lambeau and put in the work. So, I'm not vested in this. I don't have like any vested interest in the outcome of this, at least not right now. But this is the Detroit Lions are one of the official Brother from Another teams. The Michaels love them, so I'm sure that they're thrilled with this result. And so it's a good outcome for Brother from Another. But yeah, I mean, I was curious to see what was going to happen because, the week before Jordan Love, he had that, he helped to lead that comeback that Green Bay had. And, he's been having a pretty good season, everyone's waiting to see, what is he going to do in the absence of Aaron Rodgers, So I was wondering if he could pull it off. I knew it was going to be a tough Detroit Lions team. I didn't expect such a lopsided victory, though. So, I have to give a lot of respect to the Detroit Lions. And I mean, I saw people talking online, Bonte Hill from NBC Sports Bay Area, and he's a huge 49ers fan, but he tweeted last night, he's they are the 3rd best team in the NFC. And so people were trying to figure out who he's talking about because we knew it wasn't the 49ers. So you put him above my Eagles or the Cowboys. He's like, they're better than the Cowboys. I said,
okay. Well,
So,
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I I'm not mad at him for saying that because I do think the hate me, y'all, but I do think the Lions are better than the Cowboys. So there's that. But I think it's just the way.
Not crazy, only because like a week ago, people were talking about how like the Cowboys are potentially the best team and they have the best defense. And now, like just a week later, I get it that, Trevon Diggs, but it's like now we're just like not even respecting Dallas. I don't respect Dallas because I am an Eagles fan, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about the broader public.
I think Dallas exposed themselves when they lost to the Cardinals and the way that they lost to the Cardinals. And they have been exposing themselves offensively all year. But that is the opposite of what Detroit is doing. Detroit is showing themselves as an offensive powerhouse in the run game. And you've got to give that to David Montgomery. David Montgomery has had he's had at least one touchdown in his first 3 games with Detroit. And that's including missing week 3, because he had a thigh injury. So you're looking to see, what was David Montgomery going to do coming into the season? He only had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Packers in 7 games prior to last night. So seriously, this dude is really putting Detroit on his back, and we are enjoying every single moment of it. We kind of wondered what this run game was going to look like for Detroit after last season because they lost Jamal Williams, who's now in New Orleans. And David Montgomery is like, I'm not done. He's like, I still have a lot of gas left in the a lot of gas left in the tank. And what he's able to accomplish alongside Jared Goff, who I think a lot of people kind of wrote Jared Goff off after the way that he, was kind of like just getting out of LA. It was the way they made it seem like, we're happy to just shift this guy away. And Jared Goff took this as an opportunity to really revamp himself and revamp his career. The dude is now 5-1 against the Packers. The Lions again have now won 6 straight division games to make them 6-0 in that NFC North. And they're really a contender in the NFC North now, which is something that, again, I don't think a lot of people really expected to see early on. Now, for the Packers, Jordan Love, he's going to come into his own, right? The more reps he gets, the better he feels, the more he's going to look better. But I think that what this kid has done so far has really been, I had concerns. So what he's done so far is pretty good to me because I had concerns. There was a moment in the preseason where he was complaining about not being able to move the ball, to move the offense. And I was like, sir, you do realize that your job as the quarterback is to move the offense, right? So the fact that he's starting to, I was like, you're complaining about an issue that is your job to fix, sir. So I really do appreciate what we're seeing out of Jordan Love, giving him the opportunity to kind of grow and make this team his own. He's coming from huge shadows. Brett Favre has a shadow. Aaron Rodgers has a shadow, and now it's the Jordan Love show, right? For a lot of it was interesting because I was watching a segment from Taylor Rooks, who basically reminded us that if you were a 90s kid, you don't know any other quarterback for the Green Bay Packers other than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. And so for a lot of people, this is their first time getting an opportunity to see somebody else under center on a continual basis. And that's going to take a little bit of time for him to get acclimated. But I think one of the biggest holes that they're going to have to fill is one, Aaron Jones is going to have to really come up and really put his imprint on this team. Ever since week 1, we ain't really seen Aaron Jones while out. Okay. We're going to need to see that. Run game is going to have to be there. We're going to have to see it. The run game is going to have to be there. And again, Jordan Love, he's done really good over these last couple of weeks, but again, he and definitely going to give him credit for that 18-point comeback against the Saints last week. But just on Thursday night, the Lions just had a little bit too much for him early on, and he wasn't going to be able to recover from.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to just before we move on, I just want to give him credit really quickly, though, because I did like the way he just handled himself in the post game. He's demonstrating leadership. He's exemplifying what you want to see in your quarterback, taking responsibility, acknowledging what they need to do better, even giving the Lions some praise that he didn't have to. Not saying he had to be petty, but he didn't have to do that, call them the team to beat in their division. So I think that, he's demonstrating growth. Like, this may have not been on the field, field, but just his maturity and what he's saying. I think they have a keeper in Jordan Love, and I'm really excited to kind of watch his journey.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.